Good morning. My name is Chris Glick. I'm a licensed spiritual practitioner at Ahiah. Welcome to our meditation. I'm so grateful to be here. With you on this day. Just allowing the sound of the vibrations allowing the light in the room mindful of all I feel, I see, I hear, I think. It is this moment that I now ask you just to sit where you are, be where you are. You may hear this on the internet. You may be driving. Wherever you are, just allow your senses as you breathe. Allow your senses to be filled now with this experience of love, energy, light, healing vibration. Begin to be conscious of your breathing. Breathe in deeply. Feel that wonderful feeling, exhilarating. Each cell was just jumping up and down and celebrating all that life and love. Yes, it is a moment in time. Yes, the breath goes out. I exhale. Spirit's love. Those vibrations. Those colors. That light. The wonderful fragrance we may smell. Life coming in. Life going out, coming in. We know this as the circular path of energy, never ending, never stopping, as the breath of life. Breathe in, breathe out. As you exhale, feel the sensation in your solar plexus area. Feel that generating heat, that motor just generating heat. igniting the spark of you deep down, breathing, bringing all to center, all to present, knowing I'm on that circular path of love, light, feeling the power, opening, receiving the love, sending that love. Expanding this to the upper torso area, healing, feeling that energy just massage, caress those lungs, those receptors of the love, those distributors of the love. Feeling this rising to the throat area, allowing abundance, love, abundant prosperity, speaking the words of truth, receiving the words of love, filling the mind. A million thoughts. Just watch them. As you, life, just allow yourself to be carried on this breath, this magic carpet of love. It's all there. Now feel it in your thighs, in your creative area. Feel it in your lower legs, your thighs, your feet. Yes, your toes. And you come alive like that flower that you are, blossoming, playing those chords of life, strumming that melody, singing your truth. Bliss, exhilaration, ecstasy. This is all here, anywhere, on the circle, wherever you are, on the circle of this breath. There's no beginning, there's no end. You're just there. It just is. And just go deep inside into this place of complete relaxation, with all that is. Allow the music just to fill your soul, fill your mind, fill your heart, heal your body, vibrating at the speed of life, vibrating with your strings of life. Just let it be in this moment. Deeply massaging your soul. Yes, your soul. Safe. Now in this state, in this gentle state that you feel now, begin to just gently open your eyes, return to the present. And as you open your eyes, the light is just amazing. Allow yourself to just be enveloped by this light as you open and you come into the present. The meditation is now over. Thank you. Our celebration service will begin shortly. Please join. Thank you. Namaste.
Good morning, everyone. It's so good to be here. I guess I should say God morning because that's what Reverend Mike would normally say. Reverend Mike, our assistant minister, is going to have a nice, lovely, restful Sunday. Not here with us today, but my name is Reverend Scott Olson. I'm the senior minister here at Ahiah Center for Spiritual Living, and it's so wonderful to be with you here, in-house, as well as online, out there in the ethers somewhere, all those folks who are watching us there. I want to say welcome to everyone, whether you're here on or online. We've got a wonderful Sunday celebration to do today, and I'm going to start off by just saying thank you to a few people who are bringing this here for us today. I want to start with our practitioners. We have Chris Glick, who did our morning meditation this morning. And we also have Patricia Roach, who's going to be doing our Power Talk today. So let's give them a round of applause. And then for our musical inspiration, we have Tina Meeks today. First Sunday of every month, Tina comes on. It's really wonderful having her here. Thank you, Tina. And then we have a number of people who help put this on one way or another. We have Gloria that's on sound back there. We have people who are moderators online. We have Mindy is doing our Facebook and or our Zoom, and Harris is saying hi to you on Facebook. We have Peter Bedard on our YouTube stream. And then Harris is back there trying to get camera over there to work. So we might be doing things from the center if that's not working today, but that's all right. We'll figure it out. He'll let us know. And we got a bunch of people here today. You know, it's just not Sunday without people actually in the sanctuary. So it's so good. Thank you all. Give yourselves a round of applause. Yeah. And so I'd like to go ahead and get us started today. And we're going to start first. I forgot my phone down there, so I'm going to have to go get my phone. But we're going to start first with a meditation that was created by Gabriel. And so it's going to be here on the screen, and it'll also be live online. So let's just go ahead and take a deep breath in. And just let that breath go as we settle back with a little music and some visuals.
Shine bright like a diamond. Find light in the beautiful sea. I chose to be happy. You and I, we're like diamonds in the sky. You're a shooting star, I see, a vision of ecstasy. When you hold me, I'm alive. We're like diamonds in the sky. I knew that we'd become one right away. Oh, right away. At first sight, I felt energy of sun rays. I saw the life inside, sunshine bright. Tonight, you and we're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Our two eyes, so alive. We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Come and take a walk on the west side. Let me kiss you hard in the pouring rain. Turning me insane. rise to the universe as we moonshine and Molly. Feel the warmth, will never die. We're like diamonds in the sky. You're a shooting star I see, a vision of ecstasy. But when you hold me, I'm alive. We're like diamonds in the sky. At first sight, I felt energy of sun rays. I saw the life inside so shiny bright. Tonight, you and I, we're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Are too wide, so alive. We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Come on, take a walk in the light side. Let me kiss your heart in a pouring rain. You're turning me insane. Choose your last word. This is for last time. 'Cause you and I, we're like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Yeah. Shine bright like a diamond. Beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Yeah. Shine bright like a diamond. Beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Like diamonds in the sky. Yeah. Shine bright like a diamond.
Days ago, I was thinking about today and about the world, about my family, about all the families. And I had been reading this book by Joel Goldsmith. It's called The Thunder of Silence. Some of you may have been reading it in a book group recently. And I opened to this place, which I had been searching for some words, and they were right there. So I'm going to read. It's the section called "From Darkness to Light," Joel Goldsmith, and it's page 32. It is not necessary to fight the government. It is not necessary to get up and preach to the government. It is not necessary to get up and preach to the government about its sins. It is only necessary that within ourselves we do not come into agreement with any violation of the 10 Commandments. When the Master gave us the true spiritual religion, he threw 9 of those commandments out the window, dropped them entirely, and substituted for them the first commandment. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and added to the first another ancient commandment. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. These are the only 2 commandments to which Jesus gave any spiritual significance, and they are a guide to us in our humanhood. To love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind would be to bring ourselves into obedience to God and God's laws. To love our neighbor as ourselves completely removes us from karmic law. I'm going to say that again. To love our neighbor as ourselves completely removes us from karmic law, because we would then neither think nor do an injustice, a wrong, or an evil to another any more than we would do it unto ourselves, or that we would wish to have it done unto ourselves. To pray to God to harm or injure another is a form of pagan ignorance. To pray to God for one's own personal gain is but another form of paganistic stupidity. There is then no karmic effect being generated within us, because our life is a life of love, service, devotion, and sharing. Today is an ominous day in our lives, and we are thankful today. We are for our lives, because we're here to serve. And I just want to bring spirit into this right here. I want to be in the present with spirit, in the omnipresence, the omnipotence, the omniscience of spirit. I am that as God is. I claim this for each person under my breath, all the people who are on the internet, all your friends, all your families, all the people in Ukraine, Poland, Germany, Russia, everywhere. I claim this presence in each and every soul. There is nothing other than this. When I close my eyes, I see light. When my eyes are open, I see light. That light is my connection. That light is your connection. That is the presence of God as we know it. It's right here in this present moment, that presence. We honor that by loving. And I just give thanks for each and every person here today. Welcome, Chaz, my friend. We're all friends and families here. And this is why I'm here. I bring in spirit. I include each person here as all that I am, as all that God is. I release this word today. I bless each person here. And together we just say, and so it is.
And so it is.
Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Chris didn't share, so Chris, is it okay if I share? Yeah. Many of us know Bram, who was our saxophonist here for a couple of years, and he and his wife and Chris's granddaughter are living in Poland now. So our prayers go out to them, as well as to the whole world. And, you know, I was looking on the internet, and there's a good website. It's, if you search Forbes Ukraine donation, it'll come to the top. They have a list of 10, 20, I think, somewhere in there, different non-governmental organizations that you can donate resources, donate money to help the people in Ukraine. And also Poland, because Poland has taken over 1 million refugees. That's a lot of people to take across your border in a few days. So a lot of help needs to go out to Europe. So I'd like to ask Tina, come on up, and she's going to bring us to a place in our heart that is centered and with spirit.
Good morning, Ahiah. To everyone who's out there at home, we're going to bring you here. We're going to all come home together in our hearts. Softly and tenderly, Spirit is calling, calling for you and for me. Here on the portals, it's waiting and watching, watching for you and for me. Come home, come home. Ye who are weary, come home. Earnestly, tenderly, Spirit is calling, calling for you to come home. Why should we tarry when Spirit is calling, calling for you and for me? Though we have erred, there is mercy and promise, promise for you and for me. Come home, come home. Ye who are weary, come home. Earnestly, tenderly, Spirit is calling, calling for you, and it's calling for me, and it's calling for you, and it's calling for me. Hear the Spirit calling, hear the Spirit calling, calling for you, yeah. It's calling for me, all day, all night, no matter what you're going through. Yes, it's calling for you, it's calling for me, and it's calling for you to come home. Home.
Beautiful, Tina. Thank you. I think that sets the tone just right. So Harris, are we fully on? Hey, I got a double thumbs up back there, so that's great. So sorry for anybody who wasn't able to see part of our service, but we're fully with you again now. So, you know what the theme is for the month of March? Showing on the screen here, it's the power of play. And we set that theme a couple of months ago, and you know, it seemed totally appropriate then. And I've had my doubts for the last few weeks how appropriate it is, but I've also come to recognize that it is very appropriate. And we'll talk about that. I'm gonna get to that in just a minute, but I want to start off by acknowledging what is, you know, going on. And Reverend Mike had an opportunity. I wasn't here last week, but he had an opportunity to kind of start us thinking about how should we be in this conflict that is going on right now in Europe. What should we do and how should we be in our life? And, you know, one of the things that he said was that, you know, you're either coming from fear or you're coming from love. Those are the two options we have. And fear can be very appropriate sometimes, right? You know, it's appropriate if a bus is, you know, coming right at you to be fearful of the bus and get out of the way. But we can have inappropriate fear. We can have, he mentioned, you know, living in California and being worried about the crocodiles and alligators in Florida, right? You know, it's not the fear that we need to be worried about right now. And so in some ways, the Ukrainian war is of that variety, right? It's crocodiles and alligators in Florida. And we wonder, well, what does it mean for us? Where are we headed? What is going to happen to the rest of us? And that's all perfectly normal. But I want to remind you of something that Ernest Holmes has told us is a goal of not of this church, of this Center for Spiritual Living. It's a goal for all of humanity. Ernest Holmes died in 1960. I'm not sure exactly when he wrote these principles, but these principles are guiding principles for this philosophy. And what he says is an absolute truth. He says, we believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete freedom from all discord of all nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. Sure to be attained by all. That's quite a statement, isn't it? It's not like most people are going to attain it. It's sure to be attained by all. And we can say that that's true because that's the direction that Spirit keeps guiding us, keeps showing us the way towards. And so we end up with lessons that we end up learning again and again and again that keep pointing us to the same thing. We have things like COVID that show up as possible ways of discord. And we get to learn the impact. You know, China got to learn the impact of not telling anybody what was going on. And now we have Ukraine, and Russia is going to learn the impact of those actions. And so, you know, what it has shown us is that we are all connected. We'll always be connected. There's no way of not being connected. And we keep marching in this world to being more and more connected. There was a time, you know, thousands of years ago where a war on the other side of the world wouldn't have impacted you at all. You wouldn't even known it was there. But today we know. Today we see it on a TV. Today we feel the impacts in the global markets. We can't avoid it. And so we get to see the consequences and we get to learn. And so play, how does play fit into this? I was thinking about that, you know, and the first thing that came to mind was I have a dog, Ganesh. He's a great dog. He's 55-pound standard poodle, and he's the real beta dog, right? And he doesn't bark, you know, he doesn't, you know, snap at anybody or anything like that. He's the ultimate beta dog. And when I take him to the dog park, you know, sometimes he gets, you know, sometimes in through the gate comes, you know, a pit bull that weighs, even though he's shorter, weighs, 50 pounds more than he does, or a German Shepherd or something. Sometimes those dogs are kind of aggressive. And you know what Ganesh's viewpoint on that is? Every last time he sees that dog trotting towards him, and the tail goes up and the head goes down, the paws are out, and he's like, "You want to play? You want to play? You want to chase me, right? You really don't want to bite me. You just want to chase me. We're going to have so much fun. You're going to chase me around this place." And off he goes, right? And 9 times out of 10, that other dog just chases them, and they become the best of buddies. And so play has an important place in this response, in the response of the world to aggression. Right? We can play. We'll talk some more. I'm actually interested in hearing what Patricia has to say. She's going to come on up. She's going to do a power talk for us. There you go.
I'm on. You're on. I can hear you. Good morning, beautiful people of Ahiah. It is my pleasure to be here this morning. God has such a wonderful sense of humor because it doesn't matter what topic I get, it's something I'm working on. So, play is something I've been working on. And the rising of the feminine is also something I've been experiencing in my body. The feminine energy talks to you in different ways, and we're made up of both feminine and masculine energy. And when we talk about God, that's the masculine, goddess is the feminine, but in reality, God is both masculine and feminine. So when I looked at the topic, I said, oh, okay, what does this really mean? And how do they relate together? You know, I had to ask myself, what's the connection between the power of play and rising as the divine feminine? Divine feminine. And naturally, I had to look inwardly. But when you think about it and you look outwardly, what do you see? You see a world that we live in that is dominated by masculine energy. So it's now time for that feminine energy to come forth, and it's coming up. And it's in all of us. It doesn't matter whether it's male or female or, what your gender is. You have both masculine and feminine energy. So I found a connection because it's something I've been working on, right? But I'm not going to tell you what it is until later. So I'm going to keep your curiosity up so you'll hear what I'm trying to say. So play is important. And when you think about play, what do you think about? You think about children, right? But play is important to us as adults. Somewhere along the line, we forget how to play. Isn't that sad? When you think about play, And the opposite of play is not work. It's depression. That's sad if we take play out of our lives. So it's time for us to put play back in our life as far as I'm concerned. I've been working on it, and I've been thinking about different ways to put play back into my life. I didn't know I could go on the internet and there's a list of 10 ways to bring more play into your life. So I printed it out for everybody so I could share it in case we're having difficulty. So play allows children to use their creativity while developing their imagination, their dexterity, physical, cognitive, and emotional strength. It's important for the healthy brain development of children. It's also healthy for older adults. That's why they're pushing the plays, the games, the puzzles, the block games, the word games, all of that, because it stimulates our brain as older adults. It also has a tendency to build trust and safety, curiosity and exploration. Now, those are things that we still need as older adults as well, right? They also learn cooperation and interdependence through play, as do we. So for adults, it is critical in our stressful go lives. Play has been shown to release endorphins, improve brain functionality, and stimulate creativity. It can help us even feel younger, look younger, be younger, feeling energetic. It improves our memory and stimulates the growth of the cerebral cortex in us as adults. So as it is defined, play are activities that appear to be freely sought and pursued solely for the sake of individual or group enjoyment, pleasure. And play is to wield lightly and freely and keep in motion. So that means dance, movement is play. It can be singing too. So it brings us pleasure. And it is our choice. So somewhere along the line as adults, we forgot to make the choice to keep play in our lives. If we have children, we can play with our children, but do we? Do we take the time to really spend and allow the child to direct the play? They know how to play. It's innate in all of us. But again, we forget. I think about my grandbaby. I call her my baby. She's no longer with us. She died at 4.5 years old. But the one thing that I enjoyed and I remember and I think about is I always read to her. And then she would tell me the story. And then we would act it out at her direction. I would do what she says, and that's how we would make up the game. So she knew how to play, and I played with her, and it brought so much joy in my life. It's also just going and observing children on the playground. You get to hear them giggle and scream and play and run, and that brings joy to us as well, because we like play, right? It doesn't matter how old you are, it's great to play. So it's about doing something for yourself that's in the moment. We usually do things for other people, but this is something we can do for ourselves. The benefits of play are far-reaching, but we often give up play as adults for more serious pursuits such as careers, relationships, families, and all of those things are valid pursuits. But what if we could tap into play to enhance our life experience, our professions, our relationships, and our family lives as adults as well? Well, I have news for you, we can. One of the things that may often stop us from playing is that we as adults get very set on who, not the spiritual who, we are, and the types of activities that we do and we do not like. But play itself is healthy and fun, so it benefits us figuratively and literally. Roll the dice and allow play back into your life. So it is key for us as adults to maintain play, and there's all kinds of types of play. I'm not going to go into that. So I want you to take a moment and close your outer eye and allow yourself just to explore backwards to a most clear, joyful, playful image you have playing. It can be with a toy, a birthday event, vacation, anything, but allow yourself to go back to a joyful, playful image of you playing. And this is for you, so feel your feelings. Feel what it does for you and your body. And just hold that joy, because I know it's joy, as you return to the room and open your eyes. So think about what's your play. What inspires you and gets you excited? What ups your energy? And remember that play is a necessity regardless to your age. So now tying play into rising as the divine feminine, I'm still going to tell you what the connection is, but not quite yet. The divine feminine is an energy, which means she can't be seen or heard, but she can be felt. She is the feminine that exists in all living beings on earth, including the ocean, the moon, and the trees. She is sometimes known as yin energy, Shakti, Kali, and Gaia. She is Mother Earth as well. In her truest nature, she is nurturing, motherly energy and affection, beauty, sensuality, and attraction, creativity and inspiration in their purest form, peace and harmony, abundance, and the knowing that the earth will always provide more than enough. Intuitive and fully open to receive, empowered within, honored and respected, and she is divinely connected to Mother Earth. Now, if you look at some of those words, they're also words that I used when I was talking about play, inspiration, creativity. The divine feminine within you and me is wild, free, and untamed. She ignores the unwritten rules and boundaries that society has constructed for her. She rises above and paves her own way. She is unafraid to speak her truth, embrace her sexual nature, and show up fully and authentically. She trusts her intuition, allowing it to guide her. And she lives in the cyclic rhythm of the moon, the seasons, and the wheel. She understands the sacredness of life itself and trusts that all needs will be met. Does that sound like play? Our world is currently built on masculine energy, which encourages us to do more, and be more, and have more. This has led to a world that is go, 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 rushing around all the time and believing that you always need to be busy doing something. In contrast, feminine energy is about being. We do so much. Do we know how to be? I know when I retired, I had to learn how to be because I was so used to just doing and doing and going and going. So being rather than doing is the feminine energy. It's about slowing down, being receptive and reflective, and being present in the moment. When children play, they are present in that moment. Play and movement, dance, brings you to that moment. And we all could do with a little slowing down a little bit more. So the key word between play and feminine energy rising up is all about balance. It's about balance. With play, we need to balance our lives with play, work, not just doing, but to be. And the divine feminine is in the process of balancing our world, our communities, our society with the masculine energy. Remember, I said in the beginning, spirit is made up of both masculine and feminine. One is no more better, dominant, or anything than the other. They both are needed to have balance. So we have lived in feminine energy for some time now, thousands of years. The divine feminine is rising up to bring balance to our world, to Mother Earth, and to us, each one of us. Although the feminine has been pushed down and hidden, she has not been destroyed. She can never be destroyed. She is still within you and within me and within our world. As she is within me and every being on the planet. The dominant masculine that resides within you and almost everyone else tries to pretend it is whole and complete on its own, but it's not. It never can be. That's a lie and an illusion. The divine feminine and masculine were created as two halves of a whole. We need both for wholeness, and all of us already can find both within. This means you already are whole. We are all whole. We just need to start expressing the suppressed parts of our wholeness. Regardless of what goes on around us, as Reverend Scott had brought to our attention today, we have the power to embrace and express the divine feminine within us. And any change starts with us within ourselves. It only takes one. We can act with compassion, promote peace, live in abundance, nurture ourselves and our earth, and slow down so we can live a richer, fuller life. This is the challenge we face as individuals and as the collective. The divine feminine will rescue our planet, returning light and harmony to it. But we have to awaken to her within ourselves first. Innovate, play, empower, and embrace the spirit of play and your divine feminine to bring about balance. Kevin Carroll says, don't talk about it, be about it. So I'm asking each one of us to accept the challenge and be about the balance that both play and the divine feminine bring to us. Thank you and namaste.
I'll take that.
I forgot to mention that I put some extra information on the back table. So if you're interested on ways to bring the divine feminine into yourself, it's back there on the back with the play.
Thank you, Patricia. Mm-hmm. So that's a great talk about, the fundamentals of the feminine. And we really need to keep that in mind. Is what is the feminine? Well, when we look at some of those aspects, and Patricia talked about the feminine side, the masculine side has risk-taking, assertiveness, action-oriented, discipline, boundaries, the warrior, survival. These are all important things for us to be as humans. But when they become the only thing that we are, when they become the prominent thing that we are, when they are not balanced by what's on the other side of the screen, that's where we end up with trouble. That's the issue, is where's the balance? Remember when we do, if you go to an Eastern medicine practitioner of one sort or another, whatever, there's many types, so whichever one you pick, one of the things they're going to be doing is trying to figure out how to balance your masculine and feminine energy, the yin and the yang. They do need to be balanced, absolutely. So right now, as Patricia noted, the world's heavily towards, the masculine energy. Aspects of life that we need. Boundaries are important. I talk about boundaries and setting boundaries here all the time. It's an important aspect for everyone. But war is absolutely an overstepping of those boundaries of the balance. It's an unbalancing aspect. And so when we look at the other side, the thing I want to really point out is that last word, right? I think all the other words were mentioned in Patricia's list. That last word of being kind. That's part of the feminine energy also. That's an important aspect of that feminine energy and balancing it out. We can't always be kind. I wish that we could in this world, even right now. Jesus was always kind, I think. Well, except when he threw the tables over in the money changers, right? He wasn't too kind then. But generally speaking, he was kind. And we want to be like Jesus. We want to come from that energy. We want to be kind in the world. I was talking to somebody who we've been chatting with around being on our board of trustees. So everybody, you've marked the date. March 27th is our annual meeting here, and we'll be deciding, among other things, who is going to replace Gloria. Let's give Gloria a hand for 3 years of being the treasurer here at Ahiah. But we're working on figuring out who's going to replace her as she steps off the board. And I was talking to one of the people that we were talking to about being on the board, and what she asked me was, she said, Reverend Scott, what are your goals for Ahiah? And I said, well, we are turning 80 this year. 80 years old. We're 80 years old this year. We're going to be celebrating our 80th anniversary all year long. And my top goal is to make this center sustainable for another 80 years and even beyond, right? Because that's really important, that we have this energy that we have here in Pasadena to be sustained for all of our community as well as us. But another thing I said, is to create a culture of kindness here at Ahiah. That's so important, that we have a culture of kindness within our community in order to, balance anything else that might rock our community. If we always come from kindness here within, we'll deal with everything else outside easily. So, creative, collaborative, and kind. That's really what we need to focus on in order to, balance what's showing up in the world right now. Now, the power of play, how does that fit into it? Well, I agree with Patricia. I think that when we come from play, we are coming from the divine feminine. There's nothing more fun to watch than animals at play, I don't think. I remember growing up in Alaska, and we used to stop at a place where there were river otters. And watching the river otters at play, when I was a kid, they are so much fun. And we see chimpanzees on TV, at play, and we see, wolves and lions at play on television. We also see dogs, maybe personally we've had little puppies, right, at play. And one of the things that they're learning during that play is appropriate boundaries, right? Have you ever had a puppy when he first starts to play with you, he bites, he nips at you, and then a little bit later on, he's biting a little harder and harder and harder? He's looking for that boundary of how much is enough, how much is too much. And the lovely thing about play is that it allows us to learn in an environment which is, doesn't have huge consequences to it. When puppies play in their pack, nobody's going to maul the thing. They might nip at it back to tell them, oh, that's too much. But they're in a safe environment. Victor Shamas, he says this. He's an author that's written a lot about creativity and play, and he says, play is a sacred act. When we are playing, the essence of all creation flows freely through us. We are expressing our true nature and are connecting with the very core of our existence. Nothing is more spiritual than play. So to me, what aspect of play is spiritual? Well, for me, it's inspiration, right? That was the same for you, Patricia, right? Inspiration, how are we inspired? How are we inspired to play? When I look back, when I was thinking, from Patricia asked us to close our eyes and think back to our childhood, when I think back to play as a child, it was always collaborative, right? I didn't want to be out there playing by myself. It was always with the kids in the neighborhood or my brother or somebody. I was always playing with someone. And the best part of it was when we would create together and be inspired together. And so let's get down to the practical for a second, right? Because that's what we're here for a little bit to be inspired, but a little bit also to say, well, how does this work? How do I apply it to my life? And you might be looking at me after a beautiful talk by Patricia and go, well, what does he know about the divine feminine? What experience does he have with that? Well, I got to tell you, having, Gabriel and I raising 3 boys, I've had plenty of experience with the divine feminine. Because, in order to raise a child, they need both the masculine and the feminine energy. They have to have it. You cannot create a balanced child with one or the other. They have to have both. And so Gabriel and I have had to not just, kind of pepper our beingness with one or the other. It's like we had to split our personalities to be in the moment whichever one they needed. And sometimes it was the masculine. Sometimes boundary setting is important with your kids, right? Sometimes being assertive is appropriate with your kids. But, of my 3 boys, one of them, Dylan, he came to me when he was 13 years old. I met him first, the day after his 13th birthday. And when he came to me, he is always, if Dylan, if you're watching, it's true, right? Always had, especially as a kid, he had a lot of anger issues. And when he came to me when he was 13, he used to get on the ground and have a temper tantrum like a 4-year-old. Right? And what is the appropriate response to that? Well, I tried from the masculine side. That was a complete disaster. Complete disaster. Because when you take a kid like Dylan who's angry and you say, oh, you're crossing my boundary here, right? It's not appropriate for you to yell and scream and kick your feet. All it does is get more anger. But when I would approach him from a place of peace, from a place of love, from a place of knowing that there was a good reason he was down on that ground kicking and screaming, that I would never know the answers to what those reasons were, because they were in the previous 13 years of his life. But by being there with him, nurturing, that's the power of transformation. That's the power that allowed my son to grow up. Today is, I forget, the 26th, I think, but March 6th is a particular day in Seasons for Nonviolence. And so today is the aspect that they're putting forward for today is understanding. And they give you, something to do each day. Season of Nonviolence is great, so you can find it on the internet. But today it says, focus on what you appreciate most about the person you like the least. Well, I had somebody come to mind. This moment right now, he's probably the person I like the least. Vladimir Putin. So Vladimir Putin, if you're watching, you know why. But let's just take it to heart for a moment. Vladimir Putin was born in 1952. And at that point in time in this history, I think I wasn't born yet, but it didn't change until the 90s. So I think everybody in here understands that the USSR was huge. In 1952, the USSR would have been 1/6 of the landmass of the entire world. It was the size of North America, the entire continent of North America. So the United States has the majority of North America, but there's still Canada and Mexico, that you add to that to get to the landmass of the USSR. And so I understand, I do not agree, right? Understanding doesn't have anything to do with agreeing. I understand kind of where he's coming from, that there was a past that he's trying to reclaim for Russia. As I was thinking about it, the song Glory Days by Bruce Springsteen came to mind. Glory Days. Where you look back and you find that what was the best in your life were these glory days in the past. And sometimes, we all know, I know somebody who, was a football star in high school. And, it's been a long time since I was in high school with him. But still to him, those were the best days of his life. And so in some ways, he keeps trying to relive that experience. But that's not the right direction, folks. Right? Looking back to your glory days of whatever is not the way forward. There's always something better coming forth if you engage the world, if you engage in the process. And I don't care how old I get, I am never, ever going to expect less from tomorrow than I've had in the past. Never. And in fact, for my life, I would say every decade of my life, the next decade has been the best one for me. And so, yes, I understand glory days, but let's just move on. Let's move on to the better days. So I want to leave you with an affirmation today. It's here on your screen. Why don't you say it together with me? I create and love as the divinity of femininity. Let's say thank you to Harris for that one. Let's say it again. I create and love as the divinity of femininity. So, as you go out into your week, what I would love for you to do is I'd like you to think about the difference between the masculine energy and the feminine energy. Each of them has their appropriate place. But we are, as Patricia said, and as I've said, we are a little bit heavy on the masculine energy generally in our world. We need to balance it with the feminine energy. And how do we balance that? How do you have balance in your life between masculine and feminine always? That's the goal that we want to have. And how do you bring understanding into the world? How do you see beyond what people are doing to understanding what they're doing and why they're doing it? The benefit of that is the more that we understand each other, the more peaceful we're going to be. And then last of all, I want to give you a quote from a guy named Martin Buber who says, play is the exaltation of the possible. Let's say that again. Play is the exaltation of the possible. And so as we go out into the world with this divine feminine, this inspiration, this nurturing way of being, a way of being of kindness, we get to know. We get to know that the possible is what we're reaching for. The possible is to be free of discord for everyone. Thank you, and namaste. So, please join me in a little prayer as we pray for this world right here, right now. As we pray for everyone to become more balanced in this masculine and feminine energy. As we pray to know that this life, this power, this presence that we call the divine comes in two flavors. It's only one, but there is two aspects of it. The part that is the masculine energy, the assertive energy, and the part that is the feminine energy, the kindness, the creativeness, the wisdom that moves us forward with ease and with grace. And so I'm knowing that that life, that power, that presence that we call spirit or the divine or God itself, it doesn't matter, that life is the truth of each and every one of us. That all that God is all that we are. And all that we are is all that Spirit is. And so, while Spirit has a masculine and feminine side to it, we also have a masculine and feminine side. And at the same time, we are all 100% love, 100% peace, 100% joy at the very core of our beingness. And so it's from that place of knowingness that I speak my word as the truth of me, of you, of this world, of Vladimir Putin and all of them, everyone. This life, this power, this presence is moving through us and as us. And so I'm knowing that the love that God is right here, right now, and love heals. And love is always the answer. And love is the connection that we have to each and every person on this planet. We know intrinsically in our hearts what is happening in this world. And we know that there is peace. At the very foundation of this universe, it is founded on pillars of peace. And so as we move forward in this life, we embrace that peace, especially when we see something that doesn't look like it. We double down on peace in that moment. We allow peace to fill us to full and overflowing. We allow the troubles of the world to fade away in this place inside of us that has never been upset, that is always at rest. And so I just know and recognize that truth, and I give thanks for this life that God is moving in, as and through each and every one of us, as love, as peace, as joy. And I release this prayer to the law, knowing that it's already fulfilled in the mind that God is. And I say life and God are good and very good. And together we say, and so it is. Amen and amen. And so now is the time for our conscious contributions. And so if you're here, there are offering envelopes in the pews, and you can give your offering at the end of service to somebody who will have one of those golden bowls there for you to put your offering in. And if you're online, there are 3 different ways for you to do a conscious contribution to Ahiah. One is to go to ahiah.com/donate. Another is to text to give to 616-229-2225. And all you do is type in the word give, text that to it, and then it'll send you back instructions. Or you can always mail a check. And by the way, I had a plethora of notes this last week. It was really nice. So thank you so much for everybody who sends me love notes. I really do appreciate it. But you can send us a check to this address that's on the screen. However you give, just know that you're giving to all that we do here at Ahiah, both on here in person or online, our classes, our healing service, our prayer ministry, all of that. And so go ahead and say the blessing of this offering along with me. This gift I give is God in action. I send it forth with joy, confidence, and ease. I am blessed by the law of giving and receiving, as I now share my gift with life. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And so it is. Amen and amen. So, I want to go ahead and ask Tina to come on up. She's going to do another song for us.
Okay. I chose this song thinking about play. You know, how many songs do you know about play? But Bob Dylan got to thinking about some things, and I'm going to take his lead on this. All right. May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others and let others do for you. May you kind of build a ladder to the stars and climb on every rung. May you stay forever young. May you stay forever young. May you grow up to be righteous. May you grow up to be true. May you always do for others and let others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars be swift. May you have a strong foundation when the winds of change shift. May your heart always be joyful. May your song always be sung. May you stay forever young. May you stay forever young. Hey, come on, guys. May you grow up to be righteous. May you grow up to be true. May you always see the truth and see the light surrounding you. May you always be courageous, stand upright and be strong. May you stay forever young. Oh, may you stay forever young. May you stay forever young. Oh, will you stay forever young? Let's party with this a little bit, y'all. May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. May you have a strong foundation when the winds of change shift. May your heart always be joyful. May your song always be sung. May you stay forever young. Oh, may you stay forever young. I want you to stay forever young. One more time, we're gonna stay forever young. Woo! Stay young, y'all.
Absolutely. Stay forever young. That's exactly what we want, and we're going to be talking to our youth in just a second. But I just want to remind you, we have practitioners. We're running a little late today, so I'm going to just pass that by. You guys have heard it before. I want to remind you we have a pastoral care team that helps take care of everyone in our congregation. We have Dial a Prayer and a quick message from Nancy.
Good morning, Ahiah family. This is Nancy Johnson calling on each of you to help with an SOS call I received from the Friends Indeed Food Bank. They are in need of canned protein products and asked if we could help by collecting canned tuna and canned chicken. They are including these items in each bag of groceries. Good morning, Ahiah family. This is Nancy Johnson calling on each of you to help with an SOS call I received from the Friends Indeed Food Bank. They are in need of canned protein products and asked if we could help by collecting canned tuna and canned chicken. They are including these items in each bag of groceries they are providing for their pantry families. There will be a container in the lobby for your donation. You can also donate online. If you have questions or need assistance, please feel free to call me. And as always, you can donate cash and I will take care of the shopping for you. Thanks, angels.
And then we got 3 classes coming up. They're in your program, so you can see all the information there. Marcia's teaching treatment and meditation on Wednesdays, starting 3:23. And then I'm teaching Essential Ernest Holmes. So everything that you need to know about Ernest Holmes in order to really put this philosophy to use. That is what we're going to cover on Tuesdays from 6:30 to 9, starting on March 29th. And then Patricia is here today, so if you have questions, it's a great time to ask her after service. We have Sundays in person only here from 12:45 to 2:45, this thing called you. And we have our youth ministry, and while they're coming up, a quick announcement. Can you use?
This is for everybody. Don't go away. Join us in the fellowship after service. We're going to celebrate Reverend Scott's first birthday after COVID. It's called AC. We're in the new era.
Oh, thank you. And we have some youth. Mr. Malachi.
Good morning, everybody.
Go ahead.
Happy
Stretch
Sunday.
out in front there.
Do you want me to start or just? All right. So today we talked about what it means to play, and we have different answers here. I was saying that it just helps develop your imagination, and I think that's very important for the youth.
Playing is important because it is a form of happiness.
Mm-hmm. Happy.
Playing is a form of rest for your mind.
Mm-hmm.
I said it's just a good way to pass the time.
Yeah.
That too. So that will be our theme for the month. But also we are working on a pretty big art project, and we'll be doing that throughout the month, and it will be revealed at the end of the month or the first week of April. We'll keep you posted on that.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be awesome. We got a really great start today, and we did have kids on Zoom this morning, so that was good too. All right, thank you.
All right, let's give our youth a hand. And so let's go ahead and do our benediction, and then after service, I'd be happy to chat with you in the fellowship hall, right? And I guess if we're having cake, maybe we won't be doing fellowship online. So I will see you online next week. And so let's say the benediction together. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all of my affairs. I accept it. I am it. And I share it. Just the way it appears and just the way it appears not. Thank you, life. Amen and amen. So, it's so lovely having you here. Thank you again. Thank you for everyone who's online. And we will see you next week or at one of our activities through the week. Thank you, everyone.